A Tazewell County judge is working to determine if a man can stand trial after a shootout with police and a home explosion in Washington. 39-year-old Scott Benway has been undergoing fitness examinations after a judge decided he should be evaluated by a psychologist last week. During a court hearing today, Benway also requested restricted media coverage, claiming that false accusations are being spread on social media. Benway is charged with attempted murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm, and residential arson after court documents show that he fired a gun at police and then at a propane tank, which caused the explosion that rocked a Washington neighborhood on Mother's Day.